Well, good evening. It is time for an author and a Meet the Creator talk with Valerie Tejeda. So excited. I see her there. So let me grab her on the first round. Well, let's grab her again. We requested at the same time. Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. Thank you so much for doing this with
Oh,
me.
so excited. So, Valerie, my name is Dina. I'm co-owner of the Apothecary. So we're going to be chatting tonight. Of course, I have to wear my Yankees hat because
I
you
love
know
it.
what
You
we
look
got going on.
great. I always
Thank
see
you.
you on TikTok, so
Oh,
I'm like, whoa, this is so weird to see you.
oh,
Like, I was gonna say in real life, but
well,
it's not quite in real life.
it's
Almost.
real-ish,
Yeah,
real-ish enough.
realish.
Now, where are you living right now?
I'm in California, the Northern
Oh,
California area. Yeah,
okay.
yeah,
So Northern California.
yeah.
And are you from California originally?
Yes, originally from Burbank, the Los Angeles, California
Okay,
area, and now over in Northern California, like kind of near Bay Area, Sacramento, up
cool.
in there. Yeah, yeah.
Awesome. I always say that I like the one of the only other places that I could live, I would be like that Bay Area. I love the Bay Area.
Yeah, yeah. It is so nice. Yeah.
It is
I'm a little
gorgeous.
north of the Bay Area, but I love it too.
Amazing.
Yeah. All the fog and
I
everything. I love
know.
it.
I know. It's so beautiful, like the Golden Gate Bridge and just like the
Yes.
city of San Francisco itself, so gorgeous and
Oh, yes, yes.
something just yeah, so great. So congratulations
Thank
on a
you.
beautiful Oracle
Thank you
deck. This
so
is
much.
amazingly gorgeous. So, you guys, we're here with Valerie Tejeda. Am I saying it
Yeah,
right?
you are.
Yay!
Thank you.
And Valerie is an author, an astrologer. Did I also read that you're a psychologist?
Well, I have a bachelor's in psychology, so I have studied psychology, but
So,
not like a licensed
license, got you.
psychologist. Yeah.
So background in psych, which we
hmm
love, that also probably makes you an exceptional writer. You're also an author of books like what, like something like Cosmic Care Guide. I'm probably butchering them. Cosmic Care by the Moon. Right? I was like trying to like do all my Valerie research to make sure I was a good hostess.
Yeah, I have like, I think at this point, maybe like 7 books that have been published, which is really cool.
That's
Yeah, I still
amazing.
can't believe that. Yeah, it's
That's
wild.
amazing.
Yeah,
So
and this
how
is
long has
my first deck.
your first
Yeah.
deck? So would you consider yourself primarily an astrologer?
Astrologer and author,
Okay.
probably I'm like 50-50 of both. So I do like readings and stuff like that and have clients.
Mhm.
And I'm also always writing books. So I'm doing both of those.
Okay.
Yeah, always.
So
Yeah.
what was the point of inspiration that got you like sort of hooked into astrology?
Oh gosh. I mean, I've always been intrigued by it since I was really young. And even when I was studying psychology, I just
Mhm.
saw so many connections between psychology and astrology with like the archetype systems and
Yeah.
stuff like that. And then I ended up learning that the archetypes in psychology were actually based on astrology,
Oh, wait,
which then
really?
yeah, which then made me even more interested in astrology. So then I had to study that, and get so into it. And
Mhm.
I just love it. I especially love when you get deep into someone's birth chart. It's
Mhm.
so different than like the sun sign and everything. And I just find it to be so amazing. I've never seen someone's chart and haven't had it like align with that
Yeah.
person. It's so great for learning about other people and I love it. You
It's
probably have done your whole chart, I imagine.
so the running joke is I consider
Mhm.
myself better at astrology than the average like muggle
Yeah,
human.
yeah.
But me and my business partner have the same birthday, like
Ooh.
day and year.
hmm
So
Wow.
like she was born, I think like we figured out like an hour and a half before me, and we're both
Wow.
born like around New York City.
Wow.
So our like I think so I am a Libra
hmm
sun, a Leo moon, and she's the same, but
hmm
she's a Sag rising and I'm a Cap
Oh
rising.
my gosh, how interesting.
And
So
it's
you must have just had a birthday.
we did just have
Yeah.
a birthday. Yes, so it's
Oh,
the
amazing.
last of the birthdays before the big birthday, which is like a very weird it's a very weird birthday because you sort of like flip the page, just keep going. It's like not an important
Yeah.
birthday. Um, before the half, we're talking about the half century birthday, like
Yeah, yeah.
the big 50. I'm like, so
That's amazing though.
yeah.
Yeah.
So we did just celebrate a birthday. So, you know, I'm really terrible. Like I'm really good with archetypes
Mm-hmm.
for
Mm-hmm.
the most part. I love archetypes and I also love psychology. I love the human story and I love people.
Yeah.
I just think people are so interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I love talking to people, which I think is like what is like the benefit of being in a business like this is because you get to have these really amazing conversations with people where they tell you like unbelievable things where they're so incredibly vulnerable with you.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
just it's such an honor for me to be able to do that. So after like so we're almost going to have a shop for 6 years now. So after
Wow.
being in this business for 6 years officially with the shop, although
Mm-hmm.
prior to that, before opening the shop, you start to really, with the conversation, start, and I'm sure the same with you, with doing the birth charts and
Mm-hmm.
doing the private readings, like really sort of like lasering in on these
Mm-hmm.
on especially like the sun sign, rising sign, moon sign, like those big three archetypes.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
pretty amazing to see. It's actually I have a funny little anecdote for you. Today we're in the shop, and
Mm-hmm.
Tuesdays are not a super busy day for us with like
Mm-hmm.
walk-in traffic, but we always have like a ton of stuff to get out, like our online orders. And a young couple came in with like a 16-month-old baby girl.
Oh wow.
And she, the father was holding her in his arms and he didn't want to put her down because he's like, she's going to break stuff. And she was like doing that thing where she was like wiggling
Yeah.
her butt and trying to like scale down her father to like get on the floor and be free. And they walked out for a second and I said to Vinny, I said, I don't know, that girl's either a fire sign or and I was like looking at her like how big she was. I go, but I don't know because I feel like it would be
Mm-hmm.
Aries, but she would have to be over 2, and she doesn't look big enough. And then I go, or Gemini because she's super nosy.
Oh my gosh, so funny.
And he came back in, and I was like, when's her birthday? And he was like May 28th. I was like, no, it was yeah, it was like May 23rd or May
Oh my
24th or something. And I
gosh,
was like,
that's so
ah,
funny. I know you could totally you can spot it. You can spot the energy in other people. That's so funny that you did that though. I
yeah.
love that.
I
You were
like
on
it's
it.
I feel like little kids are
Mhm.
almost like easier to
Yeah.
get a sense of them because
Hmm.
they're so
Oh
honest.
yeah,
Like
absolutely.
their energy isn't like, buttoned up and like socially constricted. They're just like, "Rah," it's
Oh
just so
yeah,
easy to get a handle on them.
100%.
I think I just get such a kick out of it. So tell me about the intersection of astrology and oracle with your deck. So you guys were talking about Valerie, and when was this officially released? Because we always get stuff early.
Yeah, so it was released September 24th. So it's just
Perfect.
about been out 1 month. So not
Okay.
not that long. And it's so funny. I love tarot. I love oracle cards. I'm like a daily card puller, definitely that
Cool.
person. And I wanted to do a deck with astrology, obviously because I love astrology. I
Right.
write about astrology, and there's so many beautiful archetypes with astrology that can be similar to what you can get out of tarot. And
Mhm.
so that was kind of the idea behind it, was to take the astrology archetypes and put them on each card and give that same feeling of tarot when you're pulling it.
Okay.
Where the imagery kind of really matters too, like you're looking at it and thinking, what am I getting from this? But also, what does this mean at the same time? And what I wanted it to do too, but I know this is maybe for more of the astrology lovers, is to also act like as a way for them to look at their chart too. So like let's say someone pulls the Scorpio card and they look at it and they look at the imagery and the keyword is transformation and they read in the guidebook what it's about. it's also, they can take it to another level by being like, well, where is Scorpio in my chart? And how is that affecting me? Is
Yeah.
it in my fifth house? Am I going to have maybe transformation in the area of creativity? So I think it can add a second
Yeah.
layer if you use it with your birth chart or even what's going on cosmically, in the sky and
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah.
I I love that. So
Mhm.
I that's really interesting too when you say like either against your birth chart or what's going on. I always call it the astrological weather.
Yes, yes.
Like what's the weather? Like we always like dress, we make sure we have an umbrella or
Yeah,
we don't, but we're not going to be mad if we get rained on, right? Because we knew it was coming. So that's what I
totally.
like about like sort of checking with the astrology. But I that's actually really interesting. So like if you were like pull a card a day and then fix that against like what your natal chart
Mhm.
is and then also like what's happening and like where that intersects, that's actually such a great idea.
Yeah, and I like that there's kind of like two uses of it, where you can just pull
Yeah.
it and then look at the guidebook and see how it resonates, but then you can also look at your chart and see what you can get from it. Because when I pull for myself, I definitely am looking at not only what does the card mean for me, but where is this in my birth chart?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it definitely can give
Absolutely.
a second layer, which is cool.
So okay, so Marie, bring your daughter. Don't worry about it. Like we have the two dogs in the shop. We have Jinx that's 11 months old. So like you don't have to worry about what your daughter's going to do because this morning the dog went into the closet and took somebody's order out and unwrapped it. So I'm sure your daughter's not going to do that with her teeth. So we're good.
I
Really don't
love
worry.
that.
It's fine. It's fine. We don't get nervous. Um, so not only do you have the astrological signs, you have
Mhm.
the planets. I see that you
Mhm.
have the moon phases. Then I think it's looking. See, this is where I'm going to be like very green. Is Vesta a an asteroid?
Yes.
Okay,
Mhm.
so
Mhm.
Vesta's okay. Good. See, phew. You think I would know these things? I try my
No,
best.
there's so much. Astrology is like so vast. There's
It
so
it
much
is. And then
information.
we have
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
elements, which is
The
great. And we know that the
elements.
elements
Hmm.
not only connect to magic, but it also connect with the signs.
Yes.
So we have
Yes.
that. Here's my little Cap
Yes.
Rising. I
I love
actually
that card. I
I do too,
Yeah.
because you have the little goat there. You have the persistence, but I don't know when you did this, but you had pulled a card of the
Hmm.
day, and I think it was this one, and you said like to basically do it with the fear, like, but do it anyway. I'm like, I say that all the time. I'm
Yeah.
like, just do it
Yeah.
scared, and eventually you're not going to be
Yeah.
scared anymore because
Yeah.
that's not
Yeah.
going to kick in. So I
Yes.
love this card.
Yeah. I love the art. She did such an amazing
Oh,
job.
look at I don't know what Paulus is. I hope I'm saying this right, but I don't know what that is. But this is
I
beautiful.
know the art. Yes, it's another asteroid, and yeah, the art. She did such a good job of Annie Tarasova of taking, because I had to write a description for each card, like
Mhm.
how I envisioned it.
Mhm.
And she did such a
Yeah,
great job of taking what I wrote and bringing it to life in a way I
yeah.
just would have never imagined. She was incredible.
I know my business partner Danielle is going to love Black Moon
Oh,
Lilith because of that
yeah.
beautiful panther that she has. I
I
mean,
love
come
that card
on.
too.
So gorgeous. They're like so. Then like, look, you also have like the different phases. So like first
Yeah, yeah.
quarter, waxing crescent.
Hmm.
So this is really beautiful. Oh, look at Uranus, rebellion.
I know. I love that one too. So great.
I'm like a little bit of a maniac, and I don't know why. I mean, a lot of it is probably because of my Cap rising, but I love Saturn. Most people are like, I hate Saturn. I'm like, bring on Saturn all
Yeah,
day
I
for me.
love that.
But I also love Uranus so much.
Yeah.
Like, I love the energy of it. I love,
Hmm.
like, I
Hmm.
do love, I mean, I consider myself like almost like a chaos witch. So
Oh,
that probably
I love
is
that.
why I love it.
Yeah, yeah.
You guys, not only is this deck like a beautiful deck and a poignant deck and a powerful deck and a teaching deck, but also it's so well
Yeah,
priced.
yeah,
Like,
I think so
it's
too.
so accessible, like
Yeah.
in terms of the price point, because there are some decks that are, you know, $40, $50. We
Yeah,
have some
yeah.
decks that are like $70, like
Hmm.
19.99.
Yeah. I know, I know. I really liked
It's
that too.
gorgeous for 1999.
Yeah, yeah. The art is so great. I know. I
The
love
art
that
is
you like
great.
Saturn because that's your chart ruler. Having
Yeah,
Saturn. Yeah, yeah.
it's I'm a big fan. I am, and I know so many people get like so aggravated with it. And I know that like so I know because I have two cardinal signs in my big three, supposedly like the past whatever has been like such a difficult time
Hmm.
for me, but it hasn't, which is like I'm
Hmm.
always like, well, I don't know what these people are talking about. However, it has been filled with traumatic change.
Mm,
However, I think because I'm a Cap rising and I don't know what else, there's something about the way I have perspective that
mm,
even when things are like changing dramatically,
hmm.
I don't, I don't like, I don't really have the Cap rising, and I really don't have, I don't really have planets in water signs, so I'm not like a
Mm,
big cross planet girl. But
hmm.
if I do, it's like very Capricorn, where I'm crying for like, where are the dogs? Where I'm crying for like 3 seconds and we're moving on. So
Hmm.
even though there's been a lot of traumatic change,
Hmm.
it's like okay, like we're moving and
Yeah.
we're doing things.
So
You know
you're
what I
able to
mean?
move through it pretty easy.
Like what are
Yeah.
you gonna do? But
Yeah, yeah.
now I heard, so what's happening? So the Pluto's doing something, right?
Hmm.
And then something else is coming out of retrograde and going direct, I feel like. What is that?
Yeah,
Is
so
that
Pluto's going
Saturn?
to be moving into Aquarius,
Aquarius.
and it did
Again,
go out of retrograde. Yeah, right now it's in Capricorn.
right.
Yeah.
Because it was in Capricorn, then it went into Aquarius, and then it
Yes.
retrograded back into Capricorn. Like we had this little toe in the water
Yeah, yeah,
dance, right? That
yeah.
Pluto was doing,
Yeah.
right? Like, do I wanna? I don't
Yeah.
know. Like, am I done? Maybe not. Um, so that's gonna go back and into Aquarius, and that's the end of it. Like,
Yes, then
we're not gonna
it's in
see.
Aquarius. Yeah. So it's leaving
So
your
then,
rising sign.
right? So that's that. But then I heard
Hmm.
because my moon is in Leo,
Hmm. Hmm.
that it'll also be annoying.
Hmm. Yeah,
I
I mean,
don't know.
Pluto being in Aquarius and have that, so that's a fixed sign. So your moon in
Yeah,
Leo is also a fixed sign.
yeah.
But I don't know. I like Pluto energy. I like the change, the transformation. I don't feel like it's always bad. You know, change
I
isn't
think
always
change
bad.
is good.
Yeah, I
I
agree.
think change is
Yeah.
good. It's so talking about your deck, right? And archetypes and matching
Mm-hmm.
tarot archetypes.
Mm-hmm.
That's like every single time you pull the
Mm-hmm.
tower card,
Mm-hmm.
it's that
Mm-hmm.
same idea. Well,
Mm-hmm.
if it's changing, there's a reason behind it,
Mm-hmm.
and it
Mm-hmm.
needs to be changed, right? So,
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I'm definitely, I have that same perspective. Same with like the death card or those sort
mhm.
of things. I have a death card. Let me see if I could find it. It's the Pluto card actually.
Yes,
In the deck. Oh, here it is. Yeah, so I have the like a death card in here as well, which I
I
love.
saw
Um,
I saw her. I love that because first of all, you have those unbelievable serpents,
yes,
which a, a I am crazy for serpents. I'm
yeah.
actually
Me too.
tattooing a huge serpent up my leg,
Oh, I
and
love that.
I would show it to you, but I actually got work on it today, and it's wrapped in plastic wrap, so it's
Oh, that is
not
so
looking
cool.
lovely. However, there's something about, obviously we know about the serpent and we know about the cycle of change and shedding your skin and
Hmm.
regrowing and the
Hmm.
the connection to the Ouroboros and the cycles and the good and the that. There's also something that I've been really leaning into about like the serpent and like dark feminine energy
Hmm. Hmm.
of creation and destruction
Mm. I like that.
that I've been playing with. But when you look at your card, now of course I can't find it, the little chrysalis that's below her is like a womb.
Yes. Yes.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And
Absolutely.
then you have those serpents, and I don't even know if this what had happened to it. And I don't even know. Oh, here it is. And I don't even know if that was the intention. So you have this like beautiful, and you could
Mm-hmm.
see it as a black hole. You could see it as a
Mm-hmm.
chrysalis or a womb, or
Mm-hmm.
even like there's almost like a little bit of a reference to a yoni here.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then you have these two serpents, which is like really almost like reminiscent of like the divine, like the eating from the tree of knowledge. Like the serpent is like
Yeah,
giving you
yeah,
knowledge
yeah.
and the consequences that like happened in
Mm-hmm.
that particular story.
I love that. I love your interpretation of this.
Right.
I'm loving this.
I don't know. I'm just like it's, and then like, but like the card has like this like beautiful black background, and it reminds me a little bit of like Jewish mysticism that
Mm.
like
Mm-hmm.
everything like the light, like first it was like the dark and there was like this like amorphous all knowing God, and then there was that spark, and then like here's this like beautiful powerful woman standing in like that mountain
Yeah,
pose.
yeah. I love that. Yeah, someone said I thought that came to mind was Lilith, and that's what I was thinking too as you were describing that.
Yeah,
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I love
like just like
that.
standing on her business.
Yeah, I love that card.
It's
That's a good
so
one.
beautiful. It's so, I mean, it's so beautiful. It really is such an exceptional card. Somebody has to get this tattooed on
I
them.
know.
Just
I
who's
know.
who's it gonna be? Who's it gonna be?
I know. I probably need to do it for sure. It'd be a beautiful tattoo. I'm
Oh,
always looking at these cards and thinking about tattoos all the time.
yeah, it's really beautiful. You have here's Venus, really just like beautiful about
Yeah, I love
love.
that one too. Do you want me to pull you a card?
Sure, I'd love a card. Maybe we could even do some cards for the collective. We could have some fun
Yeah,
tonight. I love
I would love
this.
that. And I was gonna say, I love your blind date with the witchy book, witchy tarot. That I was so excited when I saw that my deck was in there to be one of the blind dates. I
Yep.
was just like, it like made me so excited because I've been seeing
Oh,
that on
yay.
TikTok for so long, and I just love that you guys do that. It's so
Yeah.
amazing.
We had opened so the Athenaeum, which is so the shop itself started,
Hmm.
um, and it's so funny. It was this little teeny tiny thing, and
Hmm.
then we always had books and decks, but like literally like one little shelf, nothing crazy. And then we took over the upstairs, and then we took over the back room, and then the next door opened up, and Danielle and I were like, "Well, we got to go next door, clearly." And we
Yeah.
so we made the bookstore, and the bookstore will be open 2 years this 11/11. So we opened it on
Oh
11.
wow, that's so
We
cool.
signed the lease pretty much on Halloween, and we opened it on
Oh
11/11 because
my
we're
gosh, I
maniacs. Like
love
we did it
that.
so fast, like it was absurd.
I love that.
And we have tons of books, and at the time we were really excited to have a big metaphysical bookshop because the only other really big one around here was Catland in Brooklyn,
Mm.
and they had so many titles, and they're no longer in business.
Oh
So
wow. Oh,
I don't know if like we might be like one of the biggest just metaphysical only bookshops that I even
wow.
know of. Like,
That is so
yeah.
amazing.
So one day I'm on TikTok, and like TikTok does, it started serving me all of these blind dates with like mystery books and this and that. And
Yeah.
like literally the light bulb was like ping, like you could do this. You have
Yes.
all of these books, and like it's fun because we were already doing like leaning into your energy doing bracelets, leaning
Yeah.
into your energy
Yeah.
doing
Yeah.
crystal pulls. I'm like, this is so
Mhm.
fun. And sometimes like it is overwhelming
Oh
to
yeah.
walk in and see hundreds of different oracle cards or hundreds of different tarot cards. You're like, I don't know what to pick. So
Yeah. Yeah.
we're so happy to have you amongst
Oh,
the
oh,
amongst
thank you.
the selections, and the oracle and the tarot decks are like the number one sellers.
Oh,
Everybody
really? That's so
everybody
fun.
wants the cards. They all
Yeah, I love that. I
Yeah.
know. I love whenever I come across a video of someone that has bought it from you guys or whatever, I always watch. I'm just like, I
Oh,
want to see what it is. I
thank
want to see
you.
what's going on. Yeah, it's so cool.
I know
I
we
love
try
it.
and revolve all of the publishers. So like every 2 months we'll do like another big purchase.
Yeah.
So like the last cycle, this this came in with like the Penguin, Random House, Hay House
Hmm.
collection.
Hmm.
And then I think we just got US Games in. We had Don Llewellyn before that.
Mm.
I think we had Red Real Wiser before that. So we're always like going
Yeah,
through and revolving. It's crazy.
that's so smart. It's such a brilliant idea.
Thank you.
I love it. I love it.
Cap Rising.
I know. And I'm so glad that it got so much like exposure on TikTok and everything. You guys deserve
Uh,
that. It's so
Thank
amazing.
you. It's
Yeah.
listen, what we like is not only is it good for us, obviously we're selling books, we're moving product, but it's good for the authors, it's good for the creators
Yeah.
because like we're able to move product,
Yeah.
you know,
That's amazing.
and then like you guys are getting your royalty. I'm like, it's not
Yeah.
commission. What's the word? So
And I
yeah.
just
So all right.
love the witchy vibes. It's just I love all the stuff you guys put in there. It's
Uh,
it's so great.
we
So
have
so
fun.
great.
We actually a little teaser for
Hmm.
everybody is that we're switching the color of our wrapping paper.
Oh,
There's only like there's sometimes you need to get a change of scenery or
totally.
change of wrapping paper.
Yeah.
Let's change it.
I can't wait to see it. That's so fun.
So you be on the lookout. We're gonna do probably a release in the
Oh,
next couple of days of like
oh my gosh, that's so fun.
what
I
that's
love
gonna look
that.
like. Yeah.
Oh,
So
how
all
cool.
right, let's pull some cards. If anybody wants a card, um, Valerie and I will pull some cards for you
Okay.
guys for
Do you want me to
fun.
pull one for you
Yeah,
first?
I would love a
Okay.
card. Sure.
Do you just want a random card or is there anything in particular? Like, do you have a question or anything like
Oh
that?
my gosh. Let's lean into the energy of holiday season around the shop.
Okay. Okay. Let's see what comes up for that. I can't believe the holidays are like already here.
I can't.
It's like,
We're
what
we're
happened?
we're
What
prepping.
happened?
I don't know because I feel like it was just New Year's Eve.
Okay, so I love actually that this one came up for it's the Neptune card, imagination.
Mm.
And Neptune is always like big energy, big dreaming energy, almost like Delulu
Mhm.
vibes a little bit. And I feel like I love that for the energy around the shop in the holidays because it feels big to me. Like I would think like dream big for what you want to see this
Cool.
holiday season in the shop and then create that. Whatever you're kind of envisioning, lean into that creation and just like call in the good things that you're wanting. That's what I see for
I
this, at
like it.
least.
I
Yeah.
have to tell you, at the end of the holiday season, we do feel a little
Yeah.
delulu.
I love that.
For sure. We're just prepping our crystal
Yeah.
advent calendar. So if
Ooh,
that's enough to make
that's
it
fun.
make anybody delulu, that'll make you delulu for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. So let's see. We got Jody, Radiant Path Healing wants a card.
Okay.
If you want to pull for her.
Sure, absolutely. Let me see here. Okay. I'm thinking just a random card.
Sure.
Okay. See
We'll,
what
we'll
comes
do like
up.
a little look ahead. Maybe like we'll say set the intention for like uh an up from now until Yule, let's give it. So we'll give you the energy. It'll span now. We'll give it
Okay.
like a Samhain through Yule sort of
Okay.
energy.
Okay. Let's see. Okay, so the Capricorn card came up, which I love. So this card is about persistence, resilience. It's that reminder to keep going, to keep moving forward. Like, we were talking about that video earlier, that idea too. If there's something you've been like waiting to do, but you almost like are afraid to move forward with through that fear, because that's what bravery is. It's not the lack of fear, it's the lack of moving forward, even if you have fear.
Mm.
And that's kind of what this card is about, is just that reminder that you're strong, that you can keep going, and that you have a lot of resilience, and to lean into that energy to keep climbing up that mountain as this
Keep going.
little person's doing. Keep going. Kind of like you got this energy too, if that makes
Jody
sense.
definitely has got it. Jody's a very
Yeah,
sweet, sweet energy. All right,
I love that.
I'm gonna pull one for Kate Henny.
Okay.
Okay, I'm afraid. Let's see. All right, Kate. I love it. Okay, Kate got Aries beginning. I
Ooh,
love
I love
like
that.
a little bit of a fiery energy. So like a
Hmm.
fire starter. It's giving me like the fire in her hand, and the
Hmm.
staff is giving me major Ace of Wands energy.
Yes, yes, yes,
Right.
yes. Hmm. Hmm.
You know, so it's time for that thing that you've been wanting to do, to like take that leap and put some energy towards it, because you got some good fiery passion behind you for
I love
sure.
that. That
Yeah,
is a
look at
great
that.
one.
It's so good.
That
All
is a
right.
great one.
It is so good. All right. So you got S. Marie 1010.
Okay. And I want to say Jody, was that the name
Yeah.
for Radiant Path Healing? I'm
Yeah.
so glad that that resonated. That makes me so happy. Okay, so I'll do the S Marie one. Okay. Okay, so this is interesting. This is the, can you see that? Can you
Yep.
guys see this here? Series card. The keyword is nurture. And so the idea behind this card is to take the time to nurture yourself, to fill your cup, to, you know, almost like show the same love for yourself that you would show to someone that you love,
Mhm.
and just make more time for that self-care, and just filling up that battery and taking the time to nurture who you are. I think that we forget to do that a lot, especially when we all have so many things going on. And then I think too, a lot of us pour that nurturing energy into other people, but
Mhm.
just that reminder that you can pour that into yourself as well, and that it's very important too. Because you can't pour from an empty cup. You got to
Yeah.
recharge that battery. So that's what that card is about, is just that reminder to nurture
So
yourself.
now that reminds me of the tarot card archetype of the Queen of Cups.
Yeah, I like that.
Right? Because the Queen of Cups, I think, is like the ultimate mother, right? So like you come to her house and she like has your favorite snacks in the cabinet, and she's
Yes.
like, do you want a cup of coffee or tea? And it's like
Yeah.
on like a beautiful, like matching whatever, and the tablecloth is really good and everything's perfect. But like she's
Yes.
always doing for everybody else, like
Yes.
who's putting the ottoman under her feet, right?
Yes. Totally. Yeah. And I love that she said she was just thinking about that the last few days. So I'm so happy. I love that. Hopefully that's a good reminder to do that.
Awesome. Yeah,
Yeah, I love that.
we always like, how many of us also feel guilty for taking care of ourselves instead of
Absolutely.
being
Hmm.
productive or doing the next thing or taking care of like whoever is in our sphere of care,
Yeah.
you know, kids, spouses, loved ones, parents, pets, jobs, whatever it is, we have a responsibility, right? Um,
Totally.
and there so many times like we're so busy.
Hmm.
And and so much of it too is like, even like it's like we're on this like constant like conveyor belt of like the next thing,
Oh
and it's just
yeah.
like so hard to just like sit and chill. So I love that.
Yes, absolutely. And I think people forget too that like rest is productive. It's
Mm.
just as productive as anything else, and it's a right. We deserve to rest and fill our cup and do those things and take care of ourselves. It's hard. I
I
think it's hard for a lot of
know
people to do it, but it is so important
it's
for sure.
true. All
Yeah.
right. So I got Rye, I got you. Spina Beauty by Rye. Didn't pull.
Hmm.
She's a reader,
Mm.
and
Hmm.
she's does beautiful makeup, and she'd like a card today.
Oh,
So
great.
let's pull one for Rye. See what you get. This is really a beautiful deck. And like, even as I said, like, you guys, we have them live on our website right now because we took some for blind dates and we put some on the floor. And for 19.99, like even the cardstock is nice. It's not like flimsy. Oh, right. Gosh, there's
Oh,
some.
that's a good one.
This is so the keyword is beam. And I think for you, right? Because I feel like I'm cheating because I like know your digital footprint. I think this is an opportunity to let yourself and your personality shine through to be like a little bit more vulnerable with people and let them see the ride that's really that like I bet like the minute they see like the real ride, they're gonna be like just so in love with you, like we are with you.
I
Like,
love that.
right? I just love it. I'm like, look at how
So good.
happy she is.
Yeah, that's such a good card, and I love how you interpreted that for the person. That's amazing. So sweet.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
just, she and she is like a little ray of sunshine. She is. She's just like,
Yeah, I love that. That's so great.
oh my God. As Marie said, I'm lucky my socks match. Matching socks is totally optional according to the young kids these days. My kids never match their socks. So like you don't have to do that anymore. That's off the table, so don't worry about it. Um, but my cup is for everyone more than myself. Oh,
Of course.
seriously. I know.
We can
Okay.
pull another one if anyone wants. Do you want me to pull
Yeah.
another one for you too?
Sure, I'll
Because I
take
know you did
another
the
one.
energy of the shop. Do you want a general one or anything
Um,
else?
give me one for okay, so I am in I am in the middle of writing. So I'm in the middle. Okay. So I'm writing a tarot deck.
Ooh, I
So it's like halfway
love that.
it's halfway done. It's going to be published by Wiser. It'll probably won't be out until like spring
Oh
of
my
26.
gosh, that's amazing.
Thank
Congratulations.
you. And like you're an author. I have
Mhm.
there's
Oh yeah.
deadline. And I am a little bit of one of those types of people where like, are you really even under a deadline or do you have to wait until you're screaming, crying, and throwing up and then like you're like choking? Because that's a little bit like my energy. Like, like so how about like a little bit of energy? Like, how is it looking? I
Okay.
my goal is to get it in like a month before deadline, so that way
Okay.
like I can make some changes if
Hmm.
we need to, and I'm not like coming in hot,
Yeah.
by the skin of my teeth, which is like my usual
Yeah.
energy.
Okay, so energy or some insight into the deck.
Yeah,
What's going on with it, the energy surrounding it. Okay.
yeah, yeah,
I love that you're doing this deck. It is
yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, it's
Oh, I like this. Okay, so the air card came up. The keyword is connection, but
okay.
air is also just about like writing and communicating and all of that. So I really like that
Okay.
because, yeah, the air element too, it's about, using your words,
Hmm.
spreading your message. And so I almost feel like the energy surrounding it is just maybe to remind you like, okay, the deadline will get there, it'll come, but like what are the words that you want to get out there? What's the message that you want to share with the world with this deck? And so
Awesome.
I think that that's kind of the reminder here is to just
Awesome.
remember that you're putting that message out into the world, whatever it is, and that's the main focus. The
Okay.
words will just come so naturally and the deadline will be made,
Okay.
when that's the focus of the energy. I like that.
I love that. Thank you.
I really like
Ah,
that for that. Also, this
thank you.
idea of like, I like the imagery of this because it's like a bunch of people holding hands,
Yeah.
coming together, and I like that for your deck, bringing
Thank
people
you.
together. Yeah,
Yeah,
like
that
it.
sounds
I like it.
perfect for me. Word flow mojo. Yeah, seriously.
Yes.
You guys, any people that are joining now, I'm Valerie Tejeda. She's a creator of Cosmic Magic Oracle that just is about a month old into the world right now. It's a
Hmm.
beautiful oracle deck. If you would like a card, Paul, let us know. We'd be more than happy to pull a card for you.
Hmm.
Um, how when you're doing when you're using your cards beyond a card a day or
Hmm.
pairing the energy
Hmm.
against your natal chart and what's going on astrologically, what's your favorite sort of spread for this deck? Do you have a favorite spread? that you use for
I
this deck?
do like, I have, some spreads at the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
I always think like the release, what is it? The
Thing.
release begins sustain. I always kind of, a lot of people like me to pull that for them.
Ooh, release,
Um,
begin, sustain.
yeah, I feel like that's a common one that people like, to have pulled for them. I like the new moon, new month spread too. I think that can be really great for a new moon. I just did the self-discovery spread with someone the other day in a
Okay.
reading. It's like 5 card. They really liked that one
Oh, neat.
too.
Self, self, that's actually okay. So self-discovery, it says it's meant to help pull back the curtain, so to
Hmm.
speak, and look at yourself with authenticity and honesty. Isn't that the hardest though? Let's be
Yeah.
real.
Yeah, for real.
What? With the
Hmm.
goal of discovering more about who you truly are and fully embracing that. Okay. And
Yeah,
let's
I like that one too. But the release begin sustain is kind of like an easy, that's like a basic, easy one to do.
I honestly, let's talk about, let's do this. Let's do this together. I'm gonna do three,
Okay.
and you're gonna do three,
Okay.
and let's
Hmm.
do it for the collective because the
Okay.
next couple of weeks are gonna be bananas.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Bananas. You all,
Yeah,
and if you guys don't know what I'm referencing, y'all been living. I want to live where you live.
exactly. Yeah.
I want to live where you're living because it's wild, right? The energy is wild. And we're all like a little bit on this roller coaster every single day.
Yes,
So
it's
let's
very true.
so let's
Yeah.
do that. And I'll do
Okay.
three and you'll do three. And let's see like what happens when we weave this together. I'm really
Okay, I
curious
love that idea.
how this is gonna come out. Hi Mary.
Yes, I'm very into this. I love this.
Yeah, seriously. It's I'm just curious. Like I have been on predictive astrology talk, man. I am just like, tell me what it
I
says.
know.
And it's so funny too because when you know Biden stepped down and Kamala stepped in, I was like, shit, I knew that was going to happen 4 years ago because the astrologers on TikTok were talking about how great her chart was.
Yeah,
They
no,
said
she
it.
she she does got a good chart. I think that's what we're all holding on to,
I don't know. It's so funny. I was cracking up too because I was like, it's and listen, this isn't really you guys, I don't like where you are politically, I don't care, but you have to laugh when it's a battle between a Libra and a Gemini.
Yeah, I know, right?
I was like, two air
I
signs duking it
know.
out. Oh, there's going to be a lot of words with two air signs.
I know, it's very true. And they both have fire sign moons too, which is interesting. So
Yeah,
they're both air suns and fire moons, which is fascinating to me.
that
Yeah.
that actually is fascinating.
So many presidents and political figures are born on full moons, which is interesting. Yeah.
That really is like, and so like really, can we even really say there's nothing to it? Like if like you
I
see these
know.
patterns, like,
Hmm.
come on.
I know.
I'm afraid as to what you got. I don't know if you pulled them yet. I pulled mine
I
as we're
did.
talking, and I'm a little bit like, holy shit. And I don't know if you have a holy shit moment, but I do.
It did. Yeah. I mean, I'm interested to see what came up for you. Do you want to go first or should I
All
go
right,
first?
I'll go first because I don't want to scare
For
you,
the
but
release
this is
card? Okay.
okay. Here we go. You ready? This is wild, you guys. I'm like
Okay.
literally like, what the hell? For the release card, I
Hmm.
got fucking Mars,
Ooh, interesting.
which now I'm not going to go with like the action keyword on here. I'm just going to go with like the old, like Mars sort of like fighting. Like,
Mm-hmm.
so like to me, it feels like we need to release this like constantly going like these two crazy polarities constantly butting heads.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what I got. But then this is where it gets a little bit nerve wracking
Okay.
because
I'm so
then
curious.
for, then for the begin,
No. Not Ryan. I know. That is so.
We
Like, am I
both,
allowed to cuss on here?
you can, of course.
That is so fucking weird. Not gonna lie. That is interesting.
Yeah. So we both get Uranus. What? Like, first of all, can we talk about, like, let's just like go into this card outside of this deck and what we're
Yeah.
pulling for right now.
Yeah.
You have a fucking cage.
I know.
You have two here.
Yeah.
I like don't even know what to say about this.
I know. I know. I thought that too. What's funny too is for release, I got full moon, which is, I mean, celebration is the key word here, but the full moon is also a symbol of release.
Hmm.
You know, that's when we do like release rituals and things like that.
Yeah.
So I almost felt like this was just like, yeah, just release, release
Let
what
it
was
go.
worrying you, release it. And then to follow it with this, I was just like, oh, wow, the rebellion, you know, that's interesting to me. Yeah.
Yeah, that's wild. And I got for sustain,
Yeah,
I
I
was like,
want to see what you
okay.
got for sustain.
I got the South Node.
Oh,
I got karma.
interesting. Wow. So I actually got relationships, which I
Mm.
kind of interpreted this as, you know, to follow the rebellion card and the breaking free and all of this stuff that's going on with this card of like leaning into your relationships, especially if stuff is feeling chaotic, you know, around the next few weeks and stuff like that. Just your community, those close to you, and finding
Yeah.
kind of like the comfort in that
But like
and
maybe,
sustaining those.
but maybe even like looking at that card, like the two people, like almost like a
Yeah.
coming back together
Yes,
after
that's
being
what I was
so
thinking
like,
too. I love
like
that.
at
That
each other.
feels, yeah, it feels coming back together. It and I like that energy. We could use that energy
I
for
like
sure.
that energy. I like that energy a little bit more than I like the karma energy.
Yes, I know.
I,
Oh
I mean,
no.
I like put these three cards down. I'm like, you've got to be,
What's interesting
you got to
about
be
this
kidding.
card too is something it says in the guidebook for the rebellion card is
Mhm.
that reminder that you can rebel against something that isn't working for you. You can question the status quo and challenge what doesn't feel right and break free from any restrictions that are holding you back. And I do kind of like that, you know, perspective of it, just that idea of, you know,
Wait,
not putting up with what we think isn't right and stuff like that.
wait.
You know, that's sort of
This is getting creepy because I'm
okay.
reading out of your book now.
Okay.
Now, I told you, I consider myself to be like better than the average bear, but not wonderfully great at astrology. So, okay. Also, okay, so let's say Uranus is the planet of rebellion and also
Mm-hmm.
freedom, originality, and change.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It is the modern planetary ruler of Aquarius. Its traditional planetary ruler is Saturn, and it governs the 11th house of community.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So, like, that I really love.
And like how it says it's about questioning the norms in our life and society and rebelling against them when necessary.
I
I
love it. I love it. I
I just
actually
can't
like.
believe we both pulled that. That is so weird.
So, I mean,
It's
is
so
it
weird.
though? Is it weird?
I know. It I like that. I'm starting to like though that this came up for like a begin, maybe like, you know,
Yeah.
a change, a change.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think, and I think, like, again, isn't it always a good thing? And this is, we're talking on the macro and we're talking on the micro. So we're
Hmm.
talking like we did this for like what's going on the next couple of weeks in our crazy country, and then
Hmm.
but like also like internally, because we're magicians and we're gonna do
Hmm.
the as above of so below
Hmm.
thing, because that's what happens when you get a bunch of witches in the room.
Yeah.
Is it important to every once in a while have a shakeup and really think about, like, what are my values?
Totally.
What are my
Yeah. Hmm.
values? What,
Hmm.
because a lot of times, it is something that we take for granted. It is something
Yes.
that where,
Hmm.
we're constantly like, yeah, it's, that's just me, and like you don't really think about these things, right? Because like the person that got the card about like doing self-care and coming back to rest and taking care of themselves,
Hmm.
like a lot of times we're not thinking about these things. We're just like on our
Yeah.
little life,
Mhm.
Peloton.
Yeah, no, totally. It's so easy to just forget about so many other things that are going on. I am that person that is always thinking about that, though. I think being like a Scorpio, I'm just like
Mm.
always thinking about the world and everything. But I love this card for the begin because I love that energy of change, rebelling against the status quo and, wanting everyone to be treated well and good things to come. You know what I
Doesn't it
mean?
also feel very Pluto going to
Oh,
Aquarius?
I was going to say that. Yeah, very much. This sort of like a new energy, this shift, a collective shift.
Mhm.
Because the thing about Uranus, too, is it really is about the collective.
Yeah.
And it is more about like, the people in the collective, and kind of bringing the power back to the people. And so I just think that is wild.
Yeah, it feels very much like this moment of like
Yeah,
leaving Capricorn for this like very last time and then being in
yeah.
this like age of Aquarius sort of like new paradigm energy.
Yes. Yes. I love that. I love that we both pulled that. I find that to be so fascinating. And I do like this card following it. I want to be hopeful and think that that means people coming together a little bit and,
I want to be hopeful. I want to
yeah,
be hopeful too, but I'm gonna pull. Let's look in your book and see what you say about South Node about karma.
yeah.
Okay, so you say when people think about karma, they often think about right what goes around comes around, but karma can mean
Mhm.
something different depending. I really should start wearing readers, by the way, depending on the person and or the culture that the
Mhm.
concept of karma is coming from. But let's
Mhm.
think of karma as the ripple effects of our decisions, that
Mhm.
every choice of ours has a consequence that can be positive or negative or even just neutral.
Mhm.
That the energy we put out into the world has an impact one way or another, cause and effect.
Mhm.
Now we know that the South Node is something that we're sort of moving away from,
Mhm.
right? It's something that we're putting behind us. It's
Mhm.
supposed to be the
Mhm.
idea, right? That like
Exactly.
these are the
Mhm.
lessons that we've learned
Mhm.
and we're sort of moving towards the future. So you're saying that the South Node reminds us of the sense of responsibility of our actions that comes with karma and helps us to live intentionally
Mhm.
and with kindness and compassion. Okay, well, I like
I
that. I like
love
the
that.
kindness.
Yeah.
It also encourages us to learn from our past actions, to self
Mhm.
reflect, and to seek personal. Self reflection,
Mhm.
it's one of those things. When you pull the
Yeah.
South Node card in a reading, reflect on what does it mean to me? Okay, I am mindful of my actions and the energy that I put out into the world. Maybe this is like a little bit to like, it's almost like I want to put my
Mhm.
South Node against your like people card
Yeah, yeah.
because I'm thinking like if we're taking responsibility for our actions, it almost feels like
Mhm.
atoning for our actions and our words, right?
Yeah.
It's giving me a little bit of like a Yom Kippur vibe
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
with
And
them
I also
together.
like,
So,
yeah, I also like how it was saying that when you were reading it, like the South Node in astrology symbolizes karma, lessons, challenges, and the things we might need to release to evolve.
mhm,
I really like that
yeah,
too, because following the Uranus card, that idea of maybe even reminding us what do we need to release to continue
yeah,
to evolve, to have these positive changes, and then to be mindful of our actions, how we are showing up in the world,
yeah.
and all of those things. I like that. I think that's interesting. I really
I
do.
do. I think it's
Yeah.
interesting too. Now, like, so the good news is we're going to save this live and people can watch it
Yeah.
forever. So in a couple weeks, we'll come back and we'll see where we are.
What's great too is the affirmation for that card, the South Node, is I'm mindful of my actions and my energy that I put out in the world. And
Yeah,
I think that's a great one to follow the Uranus card of that like collective change and then being mindful of the actions that you're putting out there.
yeah,
And then I have the relationship one, which is kind of like, hey, let's come together,
mhm,
compassion,
yeah,
relationships, community. Yeah.
yeah. I,
Yeah.
you know, it, I say this a lot and I think that we have a little bit of an emotional regulation problem in this country where it doesn't
Mhm.
seem to be like a skill that's been ingrained in a lot of us. Or I think also on the heels of COVID, because we were all so insulated and in our little
Mhm.
bubbles, when we all got back into the world, we sort of like, "Blah," and every
Mhm.
little trigger, we're just like
Mhm.
exploding on people.
Oh,
So I just, I think I like your card about coming back together, like
mhm.
taking into account, like, how do we go back to building relationships that maybe we,
Mhm.
in our words and our deeds, did some things that had
Mhm.
some consequences, maybe unsavory ones, with the people that we're supposed to
Mhm.
love. So I like that.
Yeah, I like that too. And relationships, community, all that is so important. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's such an important thing. And I think it's so easy to, like just think of us as individuals, but we're a collective,
Yeah.
we're a community. The more we're thinking about each other and having empathy and kindness for ourselves, for the world, it's good energy. I,
Yeah.
I
I
love
love that.
that. Yeah.
Love that too. Well, you guys, does anybody have any last minute questions for Valerie? We're just reading from her newly released 1 month into the world Cosmic Magic Oracle, available everywhere books are sold. But Jeffrey Bezos called me today and said he did not need any more of your money and that you should buy it from us.
Yeah,
That's what he said
exactly.
on the phone. Or some other small seller that has it, because he's good. You know
Yeah,
who's not
he's
launching
good.
themselves? You know who's not launching themselves into space? That would be me. So I
Yeah.
do have a daughter in college. So come on. Um, um,
Yeah, he's fine. He doesn't need it.
he's doing fine. So if anybody has any questions, Rye, I'm so glad that you're getting your magic off of your phone and onto pen and paper.
Oh,
It's also a beautiful legacy, because I think like your book of shadows is your legacy. Okay, three three questions. The artists that did the work, are they intuitive, or do they follow similar beliefs as you? So the artist that
yes,
worked
Annie
with me.
Tarasova is amazing. She actually has a couple of her own decks, and all of her decks, she publishes them independently, and they're just incredible. This is, I think, the first um deck she did that is a published project. So I
Okay,
was traditionally published, so I was just so honored that she wanted to work on this with me. But
awesome.
yes, she is a beautiful, beautiful energy, a beautiful soul, and just a lovely person. And so I always love, because I'm like, oh, she put her energy into this deck as well. Like, I'm like, we both did in our own way,
I love it.
and she really came across in the art. So she's wonderful. What is
Awesome.
this?
So how many decks are available at the shop? I think like over a dozen. I don't know the
Okay.
exact number, but definitely over a dozen.
Mm-hmm.
And do I have any of Valerie books at the shop right now? No,
Mm-hmm.
not right at the second, but trust and believe it's coming in the next order. So
Oh,
don't
yay!
worry. We will have Valerie's
Yeah,
astrology
this is
book,
the other one, Cosmic Care.
Cosmic Care.
That's the other physical one. My other books are Audible originals. Not all of them, but my other astrology books are
Mhm.
Audible originals, and these two are obviously in print, Cosmic Care and Cosmic Magic. Yeah.
Although I did, I did hear that. What are you working on next? I want to know, what are you working on next?
Well, I do have another, I know, like I can't say too much, but of course I have another like astrology thing in the works.
Okay.
Definitely. I feel like every time my stuff gets more witchy, like every time it has to. So
Sort
of
of where we
course,
are right now,
yeah, so it's definitely astrology and spirituality is always what
Ooh.
I love to put in there together. So, yeah.
So Rye asks, what is both of our favorite decks or cards of all time?
Okay, I love the Muse Tarot deck. It's also a Hay House deck. I
Yeah,
pull
Chris
from that
Ann.
all the time. Yeah. I just feel like her words and her guidebook are just really special, very poetic. She is really, really, she's got something going on, something
No,
magical.
so the beginning of this year, I was
Hmm.
at the Hay House. You Can Do It in
Hmm.
Phoenix, and I
Hmm.
sat in on Chris Ann's tarot. I don't know what
Hmm.
it was called, but like, oh my God, like amazing. And
Yeah.
that's a good one. I'm real fussy
Hmm.
about tarot decks
Hmm.
because I and I know this, like, this either drives people crazy or like they see how my brain works. I'll I'll say like, what's the card? Like, I'll pull a card and say, it's like, even like my own deck that I'm working on. I'll, like, in the middle of writing, I'm like, okay, hold on. What does the Eight of Pentacles look like in the Rider Smith Waite? And I
Yeah,
have to go
yeah,
back
yeah,
and look
yeah.
at it. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I do have to keep referencing like Pixie's original art. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say like I'm a pretty
Mm-hmm.
ride or die girl for the Smith weight specifically is
Yeah,
the one that
yeah.
I like, is the Smith weight.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm gonna say an Oracle deck, I mean, I'm not trying to be a brown noser. I'm usually real picky about my decks. I'm not a deck collector like Danielle, my business
Mm-hmm.
partner, has like bookshelves of like hundreds of decks. That's
Mm-hmm.
not me. I have like a small handful. I am gonna keep one of yours for myself. This is a
Oh,
great, like,
that's
you can,
so
you,
sweet.
because
Thank
you
you so
can,
much.
but you can read from this. A lot of times
Mm-hmm.
oracles, like, like you could do a card a day, you could get your energy from the day,
Mm-hmm.
but like weaving a narrative is hard.
Yeah, it definitely can be.
So
Mm-hmm. I
this,
agree.
I say, is wonderful because you can actually like weave the story and
Mm-hmm.
give the person that you're reading or yourself like something to like really dig in on. So I do really like this.
Oh,
And I think
thank
it,
you.
and it's not just like your words, it's also like the imagery really
Yeah.
does speak. Like, you are able to pull things out of it
Yeah.
that, like, even like some of the stuff that I was saying, you're like, I didn't have that when I was writing this, but like it does have room for you to bring your own interpretation, which is
I love
beautiful.
that. I love to hear that because that was definitely my intention. I wanted it to have that vibe of tarot where you can bring in your
Yeah.
own interpretation, where you could compare it to your birth chart if you wanted, or
Yeah.
compare it to the cosmic weather, like we were talking about, and just to give a story. So I'm so happy that you feel that when you're working with it, because that was definitely what I was trying to do. So I love that. That's
So
so
now
great.
you said you're a Scorpio sun.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
When's your
Capricorn
birthday?
moon.
Oh, Cap. Oh
Um,
my God, that's tough.
I know. I know. So Scorpio sun, Capricorn moon, Taurus rising. So my chart ruler is Venus and Sagittarius. A lot of
Okay.
people think I'm a Sagittarius when they meet me, I think because of the chart ruler, but
Yeah.
or they guess Scorpio, one or the other. Yeah.
So it's, my daughter is a Cap sun.
Oh.
I'm sorry, a Scorpio sun with a Cap moon. Same.
Oh, wow. How interesting.
And so she's like a lockbox, and maybe you'll resonate with this because I'm looking at. So when's your
November
birthday? Oh,
19th.
okay, so
Mhm.
you're in November. She's October 28th,
Oh,
and
okay.
so, but I'm looking at the Scorpio card. Her birthday's coming up. She's going to be 18, and what I
Oh,
find interesting is you have your little scorpion here, but look at how he's pinching the neck.
I know. I love that though. I wanted like a Scorpio necklace on her. I feel
But
like she did such a good job.
my daughter is literally like, I think that Scorpios get a bad rap for being secretive. It's
Yeah.
not that. She's like, I'm gonna tell you when I trust
Yeah,
you. She's
totally.
not trying to be deceitful in any way. But okay, so the deck name, you guys, is Cosmic Magic Oracle. It is on our website. It's literally 19.99. Like, you can't get anything good for $20. You can't even really like get like two people food at McDonald's
I
for
know
$20.
it's
I mean,
true.
let's be real. So here's the thing that I want to tell you before, and I want to be conscious of your time because it's been over an hour, but I need to let you know this, that my daughter
Hmm.
is, I told you, she's a Scorpio sun, she's
Hmm.
a Scorpio rising. She has a
Ooh,
Cap moon. You ready?
yeah.
Her Mercury, Venus, Jupiter, and Mars are all in Scorpio.
Oh my gosh, I love that.
And her Saturn is in Leo. It's literally like the tension of that Leo Saturn.
Wow. I love all that Scorpio energy though. That's powerful. She's got all
She's
that.
ridiculous. I'm like, you were my mother, I think, before.
Yeah, I bet. I bet she's got a lot of wisdom in
Oh,
there.
Oh, so much.
Yeah.
She's just such a cool person. But yeah, so I had to tell you that.
I
But
love
I love,
Scorpio energy. Not just, I mean, obviously I'm a Scorpio, so I know that's weird saying that, but so many of my close friends are Scorpios as
yeah.
well. And I love that energy. I do like Capricorn energy a lot too. I know they get a bad rap, but maybe because I have a Capricorn moon, I'm always like, I love Capricorns. They're so
I know
great.
Capricorns do get a bad rap,
Yeah,
but ain't nobody getting as bad of a rap as
it,
Gemini.
it's true. It is so true. They do. They get the worst rap. I don't have any placements in Gemini, ironically. I don't.
I think, I don't know. I think my Mars is in Gemini, which is
Oh,
not so
really?
nice
Yeah.
for other
My husband has
people.
a Gemini rising, and I have a brother who's Gemini as well. So
Uh,
it's so
that's
funny.
wild. All right, you guys, one more card for to close out, and then we're gonna say goodnight. And again, you could find Valerie's Cosmic Magic Oracle, just a month old, on our
Yeah.
website. If you must Jeffrey Bezos it, fine. You know, it's like
Oh, oh, no problem. So are you going to pull a card and should I pull a
yeah,
card to close
let's
out? You
both
want
of
to do
us
that?
pull a
Okay.
card to close out. You guys, the art
Okay.
on this is gorgeous. It's just, I'm telling you, you could definitely get a reading from this. We're going to save the replay. We did a little sort of look ahead for the next couple of weeks for the collective in this country because you know shit's going to be wild. So it's
Ooh.
definitely worth to go back and check it out because it was pretty spooky.
It really was.
Pretty spooky. Okay.
Okay, so the card that I pulled is the Pisces card, which I
Ooh.
really love because the keyword is intuition. And I think this is so perfect because we're doing like card pulls and all of these things. And Scorpio season just started. So, such a
Yep.
great time to like lean into your intuition, to do pull the tarot cards, pull the oracle cards, do your energy work, your spell work, all the things because
Yeah.
Scorpio season is like big energy for that. So I feel
Yeah.
like that's a great card to come up right now is to lean into that intuition.
So I got this. So this is really interesting because you
Hmm.
got Pisces. I
Hmm.
got
Oh my
Gemini.
gosh, how funny.
So like so bookendy, right?
Yeah,
And this
yeah.
is curiosity. And like you do need
Mm,
curiosity to sort of lean into your
yes,
intuition and to look up and look at the cosmos and like see what's beyond.
I love
So
that.
I think this is wonderful. Valerie, thank you so much for joining me tonight. I
Oh,
really
thank you.
appreciate this. This was so much fun. If you're
Thank
ever
you
in New
so
York,
much.
we are only an hour out of New York City. So come visit us. The door is open and the
Oh,
invitation is
thank
extended to you
you.
at any time. And maybe
Thank
we'll
you
catch
so
you at
much.
something coming up.
Yeah, thank you so much. Just thank you so much for having me. I'm honestly such a fan. I'm such a
Aw,
fan of your shop and of
thank
you. And
you.
I love following you guys on TikTok and
Thank
Instagram, of
you.
course, but I love what you do. And so thank you so
Thanks.
much for having me. I really appreciate it so much.
Thanks, Valerie.
Of
We'll see
course.
you soon. Have a good night.
Thank you. Have a good rest of your
You too.
night. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.